In the last 2 years, like since 2020, so many of the conversations that I've been witnessing locally, like in my own sphere, but also just more universally, that the thought leadership of our world is talking about, have to do with uncertainty and how we deal with uncertainty. Faith has become something in my own life that I recognize as an asset. It's like I have millions stashed in the bank because I have faith in God, because I have faith in a higher consciousness, because I have faith in possibility, because I have faith in a divine purpose. And I honestly, I experience that, I think, very religiously, but I think about it very practically. I'm like, it really doesn't even matter if it's real. It gives me resources. Like, I don't need proof. The proof is in my feeling more resourceful, right? When I believe that I'm not alone, when I believe that God's got me. Faith as a resource, as opposed to as a value, right? Or as a program, or as a behavior that is trained into us. Faith as a resource, faith as an asset. Then as I've been deepening like my exploration, what is faith actually? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What I've come to realize is that while there's often this sort of boon, some momentum, some positive, relieving, like feelings that come along with faith, that the daily practice of faith, or the moment to moment experience of faith, is actually extremely confronting almost all the time. And when I say confronting, it's kind of an umbrella for scary, edgy, uncomfortable, uncertain, right? Faith is the partner to uncertainty. They go together. There's no need for faith when you're certain, but there's also no room for faith when you're certain. And if you look at the corollary, it's like, okay, well then, like, the place where faith really grows, the place where faith shines, is when things are uncertain. And from what I've gathered from the last 2 years of conversations about uncertainty, is that uncertainty is really uncomfortable for everyone. So the practice of faith is uncomfortable for everyone. I'm sharing all of this because so much of our spiritual practices and our spiritual conversations in our communities bring us relief from the pain and suffering of life. And I don't want to take that away from anyone ever, because everyone deserves relief all the time. And the place that we are investigating as an advanced spiritual community is actually where that relief can create a pocket of blind spot for ourselves. Let me give you an example. I was listening recently to the story of a woman telling really about the trauma of her childhood, the trauma of her early life. Very, very touching, very, very intense story. And at the end, she shared how she had forgiven everyone. She knew that that's what God wanted, was that forgiveness. And everyone in the room listening to her story, it was like we all got woken up. We were in the intensity, in the deep emotion of the story, as if it had happened to us, as if we had been there with her, something. We were like all really close to the pain that she was describing. And so then when she said this thing about like, yeah, everyone's forgiven, it's all, it's all for the good, there was a way in which we all were kind of like, wait, we just got dropped. And as we went deeper, we went into conversation with her. And as we went deeper, she realized that she had been sort of sweeping some things under the rug. This is what we traditionally call spiritual bypass, in the name of faith. And it was faith in God, faith in scripture, faith in the teachings, faith in the teachers that had guided her to do this forgiveness practice. It's not bad or wrong, but there was something hanging out in the blind spot. left untended, left unresolved, that needed attention in order for her to grow. She was going to be stuck without this attention. And so she had to go back and actually look at like, oh yeah, like what have I not expressed yet? It was never safe for her to be angry and express her anger. It was never safe for her to truly like be enraged, to demand more, to not forgive. That wasn't allowed. That wasn't safe. So it was like, again, forgiveness is a powerful practice. I'm not knocking it. That's what makes this so nuanced and complicated, because it's not a black and white thing. It's the recognition that there's a dilemma in our faith, that it is our job to continue to inquire and investigate, like, where am I going unconscious? Where am I sweeping something under the rug? Faith is about wide eyes open. Faith is you're about to jump out of the airplane and you are looking at the ground. And the spiritual bypass is when you're like, I'm just going to close my eyes for a minute because it's making me nauseous, you know? It's totally understandable. It's not like a spiritually immature thing to do. It's not a judgment to do this spiritual bypass. I feel like that's part of the reason that we miss it, actually, is because we're like, that's so bad and immature. I would never do that. It's like, no, this is a natural thing. It's a natural thing. And what are you afraid? Like, let's look together. Where is that edge where your faith will take you next? Where is the next place of uncertainty? So for this woman that I was just sharing about, it was, can I be unforgiving for a moment? Can I be angry for a moment? Can I have my feelings of rage for a moment and still know that I'm safe and loved and welcomed in this world, that I belong here? Because until you know that, you're not yet living at your full potential. You're not yet living as your full self. Both are important. I think both are important. We need the relief and we need the support, the asset of faith. And we also can't get too comfortable or it's not faith anymore. So much of this work of really living unapologetically and completely as who we are requires faith that will work, that we can belong and be accepted there. That's a very emotional thing, and it's also a very practical thing. Because if what you desire is to work 3 days a week creating content and never interacting with actual humans in real time, because you know that you thrive on your hermitage, that's what has to happen. That is what has to be the path for you. If you know that what you deeply desire is to just talk about the most esoteric spiritual truths and make millions doing it, that's what has to happen. Like, when I say has to, I don't mean inevitable. I wish that that's what I meant. That would change everything. We could all just, but when I say has to, what I mean is that that's the path toward the vision that you have. You can't compromise your way to get there. You can't sell out your way to get there. You can't fake your way to getting there. And the actual path is going to be confronting in how much faith is required. Faith in yourself, faith in your vision, and faith in your God. It's full on. This is a high stakes situation. It does not feel like floating down some peaceful river. This is like full on whitewater rafting. You know, this is intense. And I think it's like, it is the dream. I remember when I left schools, one of my colleagues was like, you're living the dream, Jessie. Bravo. Like, good for you. And at the time I was like, yeah, living the dream, you know, like I had made it. No. living the dream is terrifying and amazing and absolutely worth it. Make no mistake, it is absolutely worth it. But there is a reason that most people are not living the dream. And I think, I really think this is advanced. Like this cannot be put in a meme or like some pithy quote on an Instagram post. Not to knock those things, but what we're talking about here is deep, sophisticated, nuanced, requires constant deepening of your inquiry.